You know what's crazy? People are always in my fucking business worried about what I'm doing. What Floyd is doing, what Floyd ain't doing, what I do got, what I don't got. Just know, I'ma stay in my lane, I ain't gonna fuck with nobody, and I don't want nobody fucking with me. If I go on vacation, my fault.
You come home, I'm gonna put you in a better position. Either for you to go Rick Ross, that's a slap in the face.
Oh my God, you guys! Floyd Mayweather just went off on Charleston White, straight up threatening him to back away from this whole Big Meech situation or face some serious consequences. But you know Charleston, that man ain't ever backing down for nobody. He made it crystal clear he's gonna keep speaking his truth no matter what. Ever since Charleston got out of jail, he's been running his mouth in practically every interview. And in one of them, he spilled all the tea about the Big Meech and 50 Cent drama. Now he did admit there's no actual proof that Big Meech snitched, but he also said 50 had every right to lose his mind since Big Meech and his son totally played him by linking up with his enemies. And guess who one of those so-called enemies is? None other than Floyd Mayweather himself. Floyd is absolutely fuming about what Charleston said, and he's already made it perfectly clear if he catches Charleston in these streets, it is on. But hold up, is Floyd genuinely trying to help Big Meech and his family bounce back, or is he just stirring the pot to get under 50 Cent's skin? Stay locked in because we are about to break this whole messy situation down.
Let this be a perfect example on you gotta be very careful on who you bring in and who you put on. That's Little Meech right there. And if you don't know, he's the son of Big Meech. And if you don't know who that is, well, Big Meech was one of the biggest drug dealers in Detroit, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, long story short, he went in jail. He came out of jail and he started linking up with 50 Cent's ops. Now bear in mind, 50 Cent made BMF and put Little Meech on BMF without any acting skills.
Y'all, this Big Meech drama is spiraling completely out of control and dragging everybody down with it. The latest victims caught in this hot mess, Floyd Mayweather and Charleston White. And trust me, it is getting UGLY. In his latest interview, Charleston decided to weigh in on all this beef between Big Meech, Lil Meech, and 50 Cent, and he dropped some absolute bombshells. First, he straight up said he's not buying 50 Cent's claims that Big Meech is a snitch because he hasn't seen any actual paperwork to back it up. Then he went all in on people spreading those rumors about Big Meech using Tammy Cowan to set up Cuffy and the rest, saying people need to do their damn homework before running wild with that narrative.
When you do your research, you find out that there's no paperwork on Big Meech. So if you go do your research, you find out that there's no paperwork on Big Meech. That's why you hadn't seen no paperwork. It's all hearsay. Somebody saying he told, or somebody saying he used Tammy Cowan's to set up Cuffy. Well, when you do your research and you look at the court documents that's on Big Meech, you see that Tammy Cowan took the stand and said that she did this on her own accord without Big Meech's knowledge.
Then Charleston really turned it up, taking 50 Cent's side and absolutely dragging Big Meech and Lil Meech. He said he doesn't blame 51-Bit for snapping the way he did because when nobody else, including Rick Ross, was supporting Big Meech, 50 was the one holding it down. He got Lil Meech cleaned up, sent him to acting school on his own dime, and then put him in a hit series that had millions rolling into his pockets while Big Meech was locked up. 50 basically played daddy for Lil Meech, and according to Charleston, anyone would be furious if they did all that for someone only to have them turn around and cozy up to their enemies. He called Big Meech messing with Rick Ross a complete and utter betrayal, saying both he and his son deserve whatever 50 throws their way as payback.
I'm looking at it from 50 position. I go get your son, and at the time when I meet your son, he's not making the best decisions in life. You know, they say he was strung out on them perks. And they like to pop them perks. 50 take him somewhat, I wouldn't say clean him up, but spend 2 years in acting classes that 50 paid for. it was hard finding somebody to play the role of Big Meech, so we picked your son. 50, according to 50, he's put over $5 million into the pockets of Lil Meech and the family's, financial, over $5 million. He's helped them make. Nigga blew your son up, and we bring you back to life. Prior to the BMF series, Big Meech was buried alive. Wasn't nobody saying his name. Jeezy wasn't really shouting him out no more. He was buried alive. So 50 bring life back to him, put his son in a position, turn his son into a millionaire, and he actually turned out to be a pretty good actor. You come home, I'm gonna put you in a better position. For you to go fuck Rick Ross, that's a slap in the face.
Now, if y'all remember, this whole drama exploded when Big Meech linked up with Rick Ross to secure some cash after getting out of jail. And let's keep it 100. None of this would have happened if Lil Meech hadn't blown through all the money 50 put in his pockets while they were working together. So when 50 found out Big Meech had gone behind his back to team up with Rick Ross, he felt completely betrayed. And that's when he started calling Big Meech a snitch. Lil Meech tried to smooth things over in the DMs, explaining that his pops did what he had to do because he needed the money. He was desperately trying to get back in 50's good graces, but 50 was not having any of it. Instead, 50 hit him where it hurts most, announcing he was pulling the plug on the BMF series, completely cutting off Lil Meech's cash flow. That whole situation had people completely divided. Some thought Lil Meech was right to try patching things up, while others felt he should have stood 10 toes down and checked 50 for coming at his father like that. And Boozy, oh my God, Boozy had a whole lot to say about it.
I was like, damn, seemed like him and 50 got a, because after that thing came out, how Meech was talking all, no, all y'all, I'm with my dead nigga, but I ain't like his response, but it seemed like he got a genuine love for 50 Cent on him, and from when I was reading it, like he seemed like he caught in the middle, but like yeah. he caught in the middle. That's what it seemed like from me reading it, but I would have been like, you.
Right, because it's your father.
My daddy.
But let's be real, 50 cutting Lil Meech off is going to devastate his finances because 50 was the one who put him on in the first place. You'd think Big Meech and Lil Meech would at least try to sit down and talk things out with 50 to keep the show going, but nope, they went the totally petty route instead. You already know 50 and Rick Ross have been sworn enemies for years. Their beef kicked off when Ross swore 50 gave him a dirty look on stage during a performance, and from that moment, it was war. They've been trading shots in songs, interviews, and wherever else they can. 50 never lets up on Ross, constantly clowning him for his past as Officer Ricky. He's always calling Ross out for faking the gangster life while secretly being a CEO at heart. Back in 2015, during an interview with Tim Westwood, 50 straight up called Ross a fraud.
What about you and Rick Ross?
That is desperation at the points that you hear things from him at this point. Because if you're looking for someone, it ain't that hard to find me. I'm around. And I'm not used to having an altercation with law enforcement. I'm just not used to saying I'm gonna do something to a correctional officer or to a police officer or anyone who's been under oath that's gonna say with no problem everything that you've said and everything that's happened immediately after,
And in another interview, 50 doubled down and flat out called Rick Ross irrelevant, saying he doesn't respect his career at all. And trust me, the feeling is mutual, because Rick Ross has been saying for years that 50 is nothing but a big old crybaby.
I took a picture with Rick Ross. You like a hoe, put your back against the wall and just slide down. You already know, car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now. But for the hustlers, I want y'all to understand you gotta stop making business personal. Get your money. You don't know these don't know you. And for anybody going against Ricky Rose, let me have this. I've been putting my foot up you since for the last 15 years. Everything you touch crumble. Why you think Rose on top? We don't take this shit personal.
You can kind of see where all this mess is coming from with Rick Ross. But with Floyd Mayweather, that's the real shocker because once upon a time, him and 50 were tight like brothers. Now they can't stand each other. Let's be honest. Floyd and 50's beef has got to be one of the messiest dramas 50's ever been caught up in, which is saying a lot because we all know 50 doesn't play when it comes to feuds. Back in the day, these two were inseparable, popping up everywhere together. They even graced the cover of XXL like they were ride or die for each other. Turns out nothing was even properly registered, so 50 had to start everything from scratch. He put a whole $1 million of his own money into fixing Floyd's mess, only for Floyd to completely switch up when he got out of jail. Instead of matching 50's investment or paying him back, Floyd flipped the script and started accusing him of trying to take over his company. While Floyd was out here spreading lies, 50 and some others were trying to do a whole "let's get Floyd back in pocket" campaign, kind of like that fundraiser Rick Ross wanted to throw for Big Meech.
As he was actually going in to jail, he asked me to help him with Mayweather promotion.
Right.
Then as he actually got in and I took a look, I realized there is no Mayweather promotions. There's no LLC. There's no seal. It's not incorporated. It's just
the name.
Yeah,
that comes out people's mouth.
Right. See, technically, Floyd is a Golden Boy fighter. You see what I'm saying? He fights on every Golden Boy card. They do all the footwork on
like
every
the negotiations and the imprint, the paperwork.
They built the whole show. So when he says helping with Mayweather promotions and it's not there, I go, okay, I know what he means. He wants me to
get it together.
Put it together for him. So I do TMT promotions. I get it all the way together. Sign the actual fighters. We had acquisition of Gamboa. It's like I had to negotiate a release. It was 1.2 million. Andre Durrell, IBF champion Billy Dib, WBA champion Celestino Calabero. So we brought them over. I brought him over while Floyd was incarcerated.
Yeah.
When he comes home, there's the "Let's Get Floyd Back in Pocket" campaign that goes on, where it's $300,000 chains being bought, buying new Lamborghini and all these new things, and I'm sitting there going, yo, when you gonna give me the money?
Because you had already invested.
Right, like when you gonna give me your half of the money back. But I ain't trying to press him because he just got out of jail. Right. So it's like, let him cool his heels before you.
Was that in the millions?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you sitting there big, and I'm like, yo, so when, but see, the fighters are an asset in themselves. They are that talent, regardless. Right. So I'm looking at him going, so there ain't no pressure there, but I'm saying, when is he gonna say he wants to, to give me the other half of it? Well, I gotta ask you for it.
Right.
And then when
are we talking over $2 million?
It's about that.
Oh, okay.
At that point, it was, invested in.
All right.
So look, he goes, when he finally does bring up the actual the situation, he acted like he didn't know anything. Like, I didn't tell you how to do that. I didn't tell you to do that. Oh, man. And I'm looking at him, and he looked in my face and he told me to do that.
Now y'all already know 50 doesn't play about loyalty, so he wasn't about to let Floyd get away with spinning these fake stories about him. But when 50 finally clapped back, he ended up looking like the villain. Floyd kept pushing his narrative, calling 50 a male boxing groupie with a flop music career. At first, they told the media they'd patch things up, claiming they were cool again, but that was a total lie because their relationship only got worse. The pettiness reached new heights. Floyd started clowning 50 over his rocky relationship with his son Marquise, while 50 put Floyd on full blast for creeping with his own best friend's woman.
I look at the computer say, Floyd said, yeah, Nelly 50. I'm like, what did he say me for? Nelly your first baby mama, Melissa, then took your fiance, say that nigga.
At one point, 50 even went so far as to accuse Floyd of being tied up in the tragic situation with Earl Hayes and his wife Jessica. 50 straight up said, "Tell everybody why you were on FaceTime when he took out Jessica and himself because he was pressing you about messing with his wife." But just when folks thought 50 was about to ease up, he went straight for the jugular. He put Floyd on blast by daring him to read one page from Harry Potter, promising to drop $750,000 to any charity Floyd picked if he could actually get through it.
This is a special ASLELS challenge for you, Floyd. If you can read one full page of a Harry Potter book, nigga, I'll give $750,000 to whatever charitable organization you want to. The bucket of ice, man.
Now, Floyd tried to clap back by flexing with pictures of checks adding up to over $72 million, trying to show he was too rich to entertain 50's antics. But let's be real, he could never shake those illiterate man allegations. So in response, Floyd hit 50 where it hurts, challenging him to step in the ring and settle their beef with some good old-fashioned hands. The streets were buzzing about a fight happening in 2014, but of course, it never went down. Fast forward to 2018, Floyd got extra petty and invited Taira Mari, who was suing 50 over that revenge porn scandal, to perform at his nightclub. That was the final straw. Floyd made it crystal clear their friendship was dead when he hopped on IG with an open letter absolutely dragging 50. He called him a snitch, roasted his so-called failed music career, and painted him as a bitter, jealous man who couldn't even keep a decent relationship with his own son. That was the kill shot. Any scraps of brotherhood they had left? Gone.
Something to think about the next time you're on stage waving signs, trying to be like the only daddy you got. I understand you want to keep his name alive, but youngin', I'm trying to save you from your demise. You said it yourself. My pops was a real youngin', that ain't no lie. He was in the business that the system perpetuates on the side to keep us in the condition where we ain't made to survive. But you think he a god? Well, let me ask you this. Would you kill a world and save yourself? Yeah, I ain't think that was wise. Something to think about the next time y'all thuggin', drinking and drugging, hard liquor, y'all full of killers. Remember, hold up, I tried to give you the large picture. Hold up, man. He gonna get this work. He gonna get this work. Hold up. Keep going, keep going. Hold on, man. He gonna get this work. I tried to give him the large picture. Yo, Pops wasn't no gangster.
It's wild how 50 is coming for Lil Meech so hard, especially when Meech doesn't have anything to do with his daddy's alleged snitching. But 50 finally aired out his side of the story after Boozy called him out for taking his frustrations out on the son instead of the father. 50 said, "I did more for Meech than anybody in his life, Boozy. That's why he responded like that. If he got locked up, I'm the first person he called. Bailed him out every time. But when I saw him laughing at his pop's post, oh, he is a snake too. He belongs with him." Then in another post, 50 laid it all out, talking about how he got Lil Meech into rehab and even schooled him on how to manage his money. 50 said, "I thought about it. I think he was uncomfortable with me and his mama's relationship. I told his mama I don't want him doing drugs. He told him he used to do X like it was cool. I told her chill on spending all your money. He told him how much money he blew. People don't even know I had to send Meech to rehab. Russell Hornsby peeped he was high as hell on set throwing up at a weapons test. Then Ian told me the Lil Ninja had whippets in his truck. I was like, what the hell is whippets? I looked it up. It's the same stuff NLE, Choppa, and baby guns." Now, when someone has done that much for you and your family, the least you can do is not embarrass them by linking up with their biggest enemies and posting the pics all over social media. And this is exactly why Charleston White said Big Meech's biggest mistake was posting that clip of him and Rick Ross and then doubling down with a video denying the snitch allegations.
Meech's biggest mistake was getting on camera with Rick Ross, running to the internet. Rick Ross was wrong for putting Big Meech out there knowing he doing bidding with 50. Rick Ross using Meech. Rick Ross using him, homie, knowing that there's a beef between me and this guy. So to do this video and then put it out there was a slap in the face to 50. And I done put everybody in position. Now, I'm with 50. While you were gone, Rick Ross didn't reach out to your son. Try to put him in his position where he can make $5 million. Did nobody reach out to you? Rick Ross didn't give you no money off using your name, your likeness or whatever in that song. He didn't give you no kickbacks for that. So if he really fucking with you, he could have put the concert on without putting you in the mix. But they playing tit for tat. So 50 ain't wrong.
Even if there was a chance for 50 to move past all this Rick Ross drama and just focus on his BMF series, Lil Meech and his daddy completely killed that possibility when they decided to pop out with Floyd Mayweather. Now, as for Floyd, oh, he knows exactly what's going on between Big Meech and 50. He ain't fooling nobody. He's definitely using father and son as pawns in his beef with 50, and he's so dead set on getting back at 50, he doesn't care who gets caught in the crossfire, including Charleston White. Word on the street is Floyd's out here pulling strings behind the scenes, trying to get Charleston arrested and sent right back to jail. If that's true, that is some wild level of petty. But what do y'all think? Do you believe Floyd is really going to come through for Big Meech and his son, or is this all just a big ploy to really get under 50's skin? Drop your thoughts in the comments and stay locked in for more videos like this.